Okay, this is just getting embarrassing, but it wasn't my fault. It was my idea, but this isn't my fault. This past Sunday, we had a library event for the kids for Easter. And my kids wanted to get to the library like a half hour early to go on the computers the library has, because they have different educational games that we just don't have on our laptop. And my son just wanted to walk around the children's section and browse. And I said, okay, that gives mommy and daddy an opportunity to look at the books for sale at the library. And this QR code for payment is dangerous in a good way. But I had never looked at the books for sale at this particular branch before. And I gotta say, at all the branches by me, these books are in like pristine condition. Very little wear. I remember growing up, the books used at the library were rough, and these are near perfect. I'm curious if they were ever read or if they were just for show on a shelf. But the reason I say it's not my fault is because none of these books are for me, for a change. Mainly they're for my husband. And I joked with him of like, this is your fault. But I'm glad he found books because he usually doesn't. He's starting to get back into reading, as I did a couple years ago. So I'm glad for that. So let me show you our little book haul. Okay, we'll get the kids' books out of the way. The first is this little Shimmer and Shine book, Magic Carpet Race. Shimmer and Shine isn't on anymore, and my daughter found it long after it was off the air. So I was glad to find this book because Shimmer Shine stuff is more difficult to find. And she was happy because some of the stickers are still there. So that's for her. And then my son likes chess, and he plays chess, and he's starting to get interested in learning just the history of the game and, you know, where it all originated from. So I found for them, for him, the kids' book of chess, Learn to Play, Hone Your Skills, Become a Grand Master. And, you know, it has just the history of the game and the history and origins of the pieces and why they're called what they are and why they can do what they can do. I just saw there was a piece of paper in here. Oh, apparently this person ordered the book from someplace because it's a thank you for your order little thing. So that was a good find. And then the rest is for my husband. He found Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. He had never read it, and I read it back when I was homeschooled in 4-H and their book club. So do I remember it? Honestly, no. So he got this, and he is into history like I am. Just we approach our interest in history differently. I go for the historical fictions and then down the rabbit hole from there of what actually happened, and he goes into the what actually happened first. So this is Guns, Germs, and Steels, The Fate of Human Society by Jared Diamond. And this is it's a hefty book. But again, aside from this little crease here, like perfect condition. So this looks dry. But as long as he enjoys it, that's all that matters. And then we're theater people, history people, Hamilton people. And so he found The Hamilton Affair, a novel by Elizabeth Cobbs. And I might read this after he does or before he does, because you just never know. But the dust jacket is really nice still. Looks good to me. And then he found His Excellency from about George Washington by Joseph E. Ellis. And again, dust jacket, really good condition. It doesn't look as dry as the other book. But yeah, so he's going to be looking forward to that. And I mean, I found this when I was looking with my husband in mind. I don't hang on to theater books anymore. Now that I'm out of college and stuff, I just don't pick up theater books for myself anymore. But This is the 1-hour guidebook, Romeo and Juliet, an illustrated guide for mastering Shakespeare's greatest love story. For him to bring to his classroom. He teaches high school theater, and I thought, you know, this might just be a good resource to have. And Shakespeare just needs to be accessible to everybody. And if that means you got to dumb it down a bit, then that's just what you do. But it breaks down the characters and the scenes and what's going on. So it's put out by SparkNotes. So he'll bring that to his classroom. My son was looking at it too because he saw an ad for the new musical Romeo and Juliet. So he was looking at this. So he might want to hang on to that a bit to look at. But for $3, that's what we got. And my husband and I are just going to be probably spending our monthly blow money, as we call it, just our personal spending money at the library. And I mean, who can complain about that? But we're going to 2 libraries this weekend. Tell me to have self-control, but not that I'm going to listen to you, right? Right. All right. I hope you're doing okay, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.